we tend to make boundaries about other people when in truth, boundaries are an internal job. So often a boundary we think of as saying no to you, or I don't want that, or don't do that. But boundaries are actually much more than that. Boundaries are one, you knowing you enough, not the mind you, not the false armor protected you, not the overwhelmed nervous system you, but the soul you, the true you, the authentic you, to be so connected to your body, to your internal sensations, to your yes, to your no, and to trust it. To trust what you feel and sense, to trust that inner compass that is your body. And then to notice, am I trusting what I already know and feel as a yes, as a no, as a I desire that, I don't desire that. I want to move in that direction. I want to move in a different direction away from that. Does this expand me? Does this contract me? Into when I think about honoring this boundary, speaking this boundary, what arises? Fear, self-doubt, judgment. Oh, no, I can't. Oh, I'm not allowed, right? These are really common. And what we'll do is then we take up what our body is telling us into the head and rationalize, try to logicalize, right? Like make sense, maybe push it down, maybe suppress it. And then we're like, well, I don't actually know. I don't actually know what I want. Yes, you do. When you're connected to your body and you trust it, you always know what you want and what you don't want. What is a boundary? A choice. What is a boundary? A desire or lack thereof. A moving toward or moving away. You know, but are you trusting that you know? And then when you start to think about, well, if I express this boundary externally to another person, we tend to defend and do it as if we're like afraid of the attack that's going to come. Like, this is my boundary, or it's against you. It's not against anybody else. Your boundary is simply for you. That's it. It is you choosing for you. It is you honoring you. It is you desiring for you. Exactly what women in particular were literally told not to do for thousands of years. This is why it can be so deeply embedded in your subconscious mind, you may not even realize you're doing it. But what shows up is, I don't know my boundaries. They're always violated. I'm in the same kind of relationship dynamics. It shows up in no one else seems to be honoring them. It shows up in taking in the judgment of everybody else. It shows up in not being able to walk away from situations that no longer serve you. It shows up in a myriad of ways. And again, what it comes back down to is you, not in a blaming way, not in a self-judging way, but it comes back down to you. This person doesn't like my no. Okay. It is what it is. They have the opportunity to not agree with you or to be upset. They have the ability to feel what they feel, even if you don't like what they feel, just like you get to feel what you feel, even if that's not what they feel. They may not like your boundary. It's only okay, and you're not attached to them liking your boundary, if you do the inner work to release your attachment to them liking you. If you release your attachment to them agreeing with you, if you release your attachment to them validating you, if you release your attachment to needing them to accept you, only then can you honor your boundaries. Because the internal work, the actual emotional boundary is on you to say, you may not accept me, I still accept me. You may not like this, I still honor it. You may not agree, but I still trust what I feel. That's why boundaries are internal. It is you developing the emotional awareness and capacity, intelligence to honor your own feelings, to honor your own inner experience, to trust it enough to express it. And then the emotional boundary of, I'm going to keep this out, that is yours. Or I will let it in because I'm taking in what you think about me and making it what I think about me. When the reality is the boundary, the true deep, deep, deep boundary is, I get to decide who I am, you don't. I get to decide who I am, you don't. The boundary at the root of all boundaries. When you can develop that emotional capacity, the emotional boundary, this is sounding simple, right? But this is quite a journey. That's why I spend a whole month on just boundaries and a 5-month portal of transformation to revolutionize your relationships, because boundary work goes quite deep. You first anchor into self, then you start working on your boundaries so that then you can start the expression, so that then you can open up to receive love for who you really are in this portal transformation. And that's based on my own embodied lived experience of walking this process. I had 0 boundaries growing up, like 0 boundaries in my relationships, 0 boundaries around other people's opinions and judgments of me, 0 boundaries. And in fact, I thought it was unloving to have boundaries, which is a whole different conversation. And what I want to focus on today, briefly, is that it is up to you, if you want to experience freedom in your relationships, it is up to you to start doing this emotional work so that you are no longer letting other people be your authority. You reclaim your sovereignty. And doing the energetic work of releasing where you have taken in the judgment, rejection, abandonment of others and made it yours and kept it in your subconscious, kept it as trauma in your system, kept it as fears that rule you without you even knowing they're ruling you. The energetics of you shining your light out instead of taking in the opinions of others and making it your own. The energetic work, the emotional work is so essential for healthy boundaries that don't cast others out. You don't have to make them wrong. You don't have to make them bad because they don't agree with your boundary. They get to be them. You get to be you, period. It's when we have our own attachments to the other, codependencies, entanglements, enmeshments, karmic ties, we have the attachments to other that prevent us from being free. So it's our job, your job, to pull your power back, to release the entanglements, to release the attachments, to pull your power back by doing the internal, emotional, and energetic work. Of course, that it involves mental work as well and embodiment work, but we go into the body because the body is energy. The body is an energy body. So your energy that forms, encompasses, and exists beyond your physicality is the energy of your soul. And so we go into the physical body, we do embodiment work. I'm an international soul embodiment guide because we do the embodiment work to access the energy of your soul. You access the energy of your soul, you access your inner truth. You access your inner truth, you know who you are. You know who you are, you decide, you keep others out, you live from the inside out, sovereignty. Again, sounds simple, quite a journey that I take all my clients on in one-on-one and in groups. This is a little taste because I could literally talk about boundaries for forever. I want to invite you into a free online experiential workshop so you can start to see where you are honoring your boundaries, where you're not. You can start to see where some of these patterns are showing up for you and your relationships, whether you're in an intimate relationship, whether it shows up with your family, whether you're not in a current relationship, but you see relationship patterns repeating themselves, right? This is for you if you want to actually be in your power, claim it back, stand in your sovereignty, create freedom in your relationships, regardless of who you're with, because you don't have to wait for others to give you permission to be free. You get to create the freedom internally, which shows up externally in your relationships. That is the crux of what I do. That's what I want for you, because freedom in relationships is exactly what we've been denied and told we're not allowed to have. And we get to change that within ourselves. So the free online experiential workshop is on Friday, February 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern time. You can check your time zone below. It's a 2-hour workshop where we're going to go into the historical context of a lot of these beliefs that from the past that affect present day relationships, as well as how these show up in the subconscious. Start to bring light to these in your own life, light to your own patterns, light to your own beliefs, so that you can begin to consciously create the relationships, the internal freedom that you desire to experience. And then maybe that's enough. Maybe you want to take it further in the 5-month portal transformation to revolutionize your relationships. But this online experiential workshop is a foundational piece. It's required for anyone who enters the 5-month portal, meaning it is standalone value is limitless. I could charge for this, but I want this to be a free offering because this is so fundamental to our ascension, to our evolution as humanity, is to restructure the way that we do relationships in this world. So I'll put the link below. You can also go to thepathtosovereignty.com and you sign up and you'll be sent the Zoom link, and then you can join us and take this even deeper. Jessica Falcon, The Path to Sovereignty, sending you so much love.